Hey guys, it's Jay. Welcome back to my channel, where we discuss the popular culture of the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Well, it's done. I've moved. And this is my new studio location. It's a lot bigger than what I had before, but honestly, I'm not really that comfortable yet. I have a lot of things to learn about this new place. The neighborhood's great, the people are great, but as always, it's just something brand new, exciting, a little bit scary, but I'm ready for the challenge. Speaking about new challenges, I wanted to talk about a film which challenged everyone's imagination back in the 1980s. It involved a young boy whose love for fantasy and books led him into a great adventure. He had a number of challenges of his own. He was getting beaten up at school, his grades were failing, and he was trying to adjust to his new relationship with his father. But one particular book drew him in and captured his imagination so much that he barely escaped. Today, guys, we're going to be talking about The NeverEnding Story. The NeverEnding Story starts out with Sebastian. He's your typical young boy. Not really doing too well in school, and he's having a hard time relating to his father.
She says that you were drawing horses in your math book.
Unicorns. They are unicorns.
What?
Nothing.
He is a daydreamer and loves reading books. But he's also sort of a geek, and unfortunately, this makes him into a target for the local bullies.
Hey, weirdo. Got any cash for us today? If you ain't got no money on you, go in the garbage can. No! Maybe the chicken could...
On one particular day, to try to escape from these hooligans, he runs into a bookstore and meets a very strange old man. This gentleman reveals to him that his books don't only capture the imagination, but they capture you as well.
What's that book about?
Oh, this is something special.
But it's only a story.
That's what I'm talking about. The ones you read are safe.
And that one isn't?
Don't worry about it.
Sebastian, or Bastian, as we come to know him, takes this particular book, writes a note down, specifically promising that he'll bring it back. As he reaches school, he finds that the class has already started.
Math test. Oh no.
So he runs up to the attic, the one place where he knows he'll be alone in the school. There, he engages himself in the story which the old man has told him is not for him. As the NeverEnding Story begins, we find that there is a crisis on this magical world of Fantasia. All the creatures of Fantasia are recognizing that there is something out there which is hunting, stalking, and taking other creatures of this world away. So much so that every single creature is traveling to the castle of the Empress to see if they can have her help in fighting this nothing. As the various creatures that we meet converge on the Empress's castle, we find that there's already a council in session to decide what to do about the nothing. The council decides to send for an emissary.
But there just might be one chance. The plains people who hunt the purple buffalo have among them a great warrior. He alone has a chance to fight the nothing and save us. He is our only hope.
He finally arrives, but everyone is shocked to realize that they've sent a young boy.
Not you we sent for. We wanted to betray you.
I am Atreyu.
Not Atreyu the child. Atreyu the warrior.
I'm the only Atreyu of the Plains people. But I'll be happy to go back hunting the purple buffalo.
No, wait.
Desperate, the council asks Atreyu to be their champion. The council bestows upon Atreyu the Amulet of Orin, effectively making Atreyu the emissary of the Empress. The movie focuses mainly on Atreyu, who is going through this grand adventure. But it also focuses on Bastian, who is vicariously living this adventure through Atreyu. As the story continues, Atreyu's journey slowly and more deliberately becomes Bastian's journey. And as we find out, Bastian has a way of affecting the story as he continues to read. As he goes through this wonderful quest, he meets several different creatures. Some fantastic, some helpful, and some just confusing. He also goes through a few tragedies, including the death of his horse, Artax. I remember watching Artax and his struggle in the mud. This, as a child, was emotionally scarring. I remember watching this horse, and from what I could tell, it truly was scared. You could see its mouth opening up, gasping for air. And I remember thinking to myself, my God, this animal's in pain. It was the first time in my life where I truly felt some sort of empathy towards something which was not human. And it really did leave a lasting impression for the rest of my life. Atreyu was also pursued by an unknown being. We don't usually see it, but it seems to be black, dark, fast, and cunning. Atreyu does have allies, including Falkor the dragon, who becomes Atreyu's mount after the death of Artax. I forgot to mention that the music in the NeverEnding Story is incredible. It's so fantastic and wonderfully composed. The composer, Klaus Doldinger, really had a sense for what music and sound in a magical world should be. Falkor is a very valuable friend and ally, as he tells Atreyu of the pending dangers to come. He also helps Atreyu to get that much further in his journey. I don't want to ruin too much more of the story, as it is a wonderful tale, which I think everyone should experience. We find that Bastian is a very relatable character in the series, as his own struggles, his relationship with his father, the antagonists that keep bullying him every day, his grades, are very relatable parts of the story, especially for younger viewers who were watching the movie at the time. The ending of the movie is quite good, and I really did think that it was a great payoff. One of those magical moments that happens on screen, which you don't get very often. And for a children's tale, it really was quite the payoff. I really enjoyed watching the NeverEnding Story as a child, and I go back to it every now and then, even as an adult, and still find wonderful things to appreciate about the film. If you'd like to experience the NeverEnding Story for yourself, I do believe that it was re-released on Blu-ray not too long ago. You should be able to find it on Amazon or eBay. I really do suggest that everyone take a look at the NeverEnding Story. It's one of those magical films which still holds up today. The characters themselves, young children, adults, they can still be very relatable in today's society. There are a lot of talk about books, and it's actually rather refreshing not having to see everyone using their phones all the time. The way Bastian goes about living his part of the story is quite intriguing, and it really helps to draw you in and relate to the characters who are both in the story and in real life. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed my look back at the NeverEnding Story. If you have any comments or questions or suggestions on anime, cartoons, toys, collectibles, or anything else you'd like me to review, please leave that in the comment section below. And consider subscribing, as I have many more of these episodes on the way. Also, consider sharing this episode with someone who you think might enjoy it. Well guys, as always, thank you very much for watching. Geek proud. Check out some of the other episodes I've done. You can also follow me on Facebook and Twitter.